from Cardiff Sixth Form College. She's going to tell us a lot about her boarding school today and why it's a great option for all students looking for a unique and interesting education. So Henrietta, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Henrietta Lightwood. I am the Marketing and Admissions Director for Duke's Education, which owns Cardiff Sixth Form College and actually quite a lot of other schools too. And Cardiff is probably very, very well known because it is the top boarding school in the UK. And it's been top of the league tables actually for the past 12 years, which is quite a feat. Well done to Cardiff to staff. What does that mean? Well, the importance, I suppose, really of academics. When applying to university, obviously how well and the marks you get in your entrance tests are really, really important. So to give you some stats on that, 95% of our students get all A stars and A's, amazingly in their A levels, 99% A star to B. A star to A means that you can go on to what's called the G5 universities, Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial College, London School of Economics, University College London. Probably A star to B will enable you to get into something like the Russell Group universities, so the top 24 universities in the UK. Not just the UK though, our students will definitely go to the US, particularly if they want to do things like computer science, economics, those kinds of subjects quite often, which is really interesting. So it just depends. So actually we kind of almost look at our school from the numbers that go on to the QS top 100 universities, and this year I think it's 83% have gone on to those top universities in the world. Which
that's wonderful. Well, I think that's great because so many families are really focused on sort of the end game of where the student will end up in college and what they'll study. So that seems like you're preparing them well for that. Could you tell me a little bit more about the location of the campus and what the campus is like, the size of it, and the curriculum that you offer?
Yes, of course. So we actually have two campuses. We have one campus in Cardiff, which is the capital city of Wales, about 2.5 hours west of London. And we have a second, particularly STEM campus for A-levels in Cambridge, which is about 50 minutes north of London. At our Cardiff campus, we teach both GCSEs and A-levels, so students generally between 14 and 19 years of age. And it's just STEM A-levels that we teach and K-levels, so it's just kind of 16 to 18-year-olds. So, yes, in terms of the campus, it's all kind of on one site. Really, it's right in the centre of Cardiff. So the boarding house is kind of directly opposite. Everybody has a single ensuite bedroom. There's lots of kind of fantastic laboratories and facilities. It's all basically there. But I think one of the reasons the students love it is because it is so central and they can at weekends wander out, and it's a pretty safe city. Cambridge is different because Cambridge is a very different city. As you probably see the pictures of everyone bicycling everywhere. So there's kind of lots of different buildings which are around. So we have our main academic building, our science building actually, our big science centre, and our boarding building. So they're again very, very centrally in Cambridge.
Okay, wonderful. And what about the extracurricular activities on these campuses? Are there opportunities to do more than just academics?
Yes, absolutely. Of course, absolutely. So the extracurricular, sport, music, art, drama, people play football, netball, yoga, badminton, basketball, all those kind of things. There are major school events. In fact, we do a big major theatre production, for instance, every year, which a lot of our students who are interested in drama or just performance skills will get involved in, like dance. There's a big talent show for musicians, for instance. And we also have something called the cultural event because we're very much embracing internationalism at Cardiff Sixth Form College. And we have students from 45 different countries around the world, bright students, it's lovely. So, we have a big kind of international cultural event. A bit like an Oscar award ceremony, really, where we have lots of awards and prizes, but people come dressed in national costume, and it's very much, and the students themselves put on the entertainment, so it's great fun. So there's lots of things. There's lots of house activities, there's lots of clubs, there's lots of kind of societies, Duke of Edinburgh, Model United Nations debating, whatever people want to do. But actually at Cardiff, it's not just about academic and extracurricular. There's kind of the other areas which are very, very important about getting into top universities, which is work experience. So we have work experience internationally as well as in the UK.
Okay.
We have 2 big enrichment weeks that happen where we have 90 different speakers from loads of different areas of industry who will come and speak to the students. And then there's also things about developing skills. So whether it's communication skills, entrepreneurship skills, teamwork, leadership, network, those kinds of skills. We actually give our students opportunities to actually demonstrate those through Well, if you take communication, it could be essay writing competitions, it could be debating competitions, it could be model imaginations. If we take something like entrepreneurship skills, it will be through the Young Enterprise Scheme, the Young Tycoons Award, where they can actually start their own business. There's lots of leadership might be through, I don't know, leading a particular society or being prefect, lots of different ways. But when you come to apply to university, you have to demonstrate it, not just say, oh, I've got great communication skills. How do you actually kind of evidence that ready for your personal statement?
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like a really holistic education, which I think a lot of universities are trying to make sure that that's what students come in with. Just on a final note, can you tell me anything, can you just sort of, in general, give any piece of advice to applicants to boarding school and maybe some suggestions on how to take this process forward?
Yeah, well, definitely. And one of the things I think, I've worked in, as you know, in education for 20 years and worked for different schools. And I think as a parent or as a family coming to navigate this for the first time, definitely speaking to consultants like Red Pen is very, very helpful because, you know, they do know the schools.
Yes.
Then I think absolutely, if you can kind of, you know, go onto people's websites, have a look at it. I, for instance, am very, very happy at any time to Zoom and speak to parents. I think schools like mine are very much about trying to find out if we're the right school for you or whether we can help you. You know, it's not that they're not one-stop shop for everybody. I think that's the other thing. And when you go and see a school, and quite a lot of parents will come and see us, then I think the important thing again is to look at the relationship between the teachers and the pupils, because it's not about facilities, it's about people. The facilities are lovely, and it's nice to have nice facilities, but actually, if you have students in a class who are not engaged and they're not going to get the results they need. And when it comes down to it, universities do pick people based on their academic results, and then they look at their skills. So we kind of have to nail that first thing first.
Right.
Is my advice.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and to come to Mumbai and meet some of our families.
Oh, it's absolutely lovely to be here, isn't it? I mean, beautiful weather and fantastic to be out in the UK when it's very, very cold and wet. But I was going to say, the other thing I think probably that people generally want to know is how to apply, and that's been the question that I've been asked more than anything else.
Okay.
So with us, for instance, you go to www.ccoex.com and you press the apply now button. Generally, with schools, you fill in an application form and you pay an application fee, and then you will take entrance tests of some sort.
Right.
And with the Red Pen, for instance, we can do it with you here in Mumbai or in Delhi or wherever it is that Indian students are wanting to take exams.
Great. Well, that's a very good point, because I think the conceptual understanding of applying to boarding school is one thing families have to think about, but this sort of very practical, how do you do it, what's the process, is something that I think is not always obvious. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Lovely to speak to you. Thank you.